Hello, I'm Peter Bergman. This is my official YouTube channel. I'll be updating you with the latest news, so please subscribe to my channel.
Welcome back to the channel, besties. It is an absolutely beautiful day, but the timeline is currently in shambles and we need to unpack this immediately. Grab your strongest cup of coffee and brace yourselves, because we are diving headfirst into the absolute chaos that just dropped. Let's get into it. Are you guys seeing this absolute insanity right now? Someone check my pulse, because I am actually spiraling. I am literally vibrating at a frequency that could shatter glass, staring at my glowing screen in the dead of night, and I cannot even process the magnitude of what we just witnessed. Well, whatever happens, happens, right, everyone? I mean, that is what we always say when the writers decide to just rip the steering wheel off the car and drive us straight off a cliff. But this is a whole new level of unhinged. I am fully prepared to be canceled for this, but I literally have to say it. The Abbott family is officially operating on pure, unfiltered delusion, and I am here for every single agonizing second of it. My brain is visibly struggling to load the truth in real time. Wait, no, I am physically paralyzed by the sheer terror of what is unfolding. The screen is glowing, my coffee is completely ice cold, and I am purging every ounce of love and loathing I have for this show before I even think about hitting the pillow. Seriously, let's talk about the absolute sheer audacity of Dr. Lawrence Markham waltzing into the Abbott mansion. Look, we all knew this man was giving off the most sinister, low-key villain energy from the moment he stepped onto the screen, but walking right into the lion's den, dead ass. The nerve of this man is actually staggering. He stands there in Jack Abbott's living room, surrounded by the generational wealth and power of the Abbott legacy, acting like everything is totally fine. He is feeding them absolute garbage about Diane's treatment at the clinic, using all this clinical jargon to mask the fact that he is a complete and utter fraud. No cap. I was screaming at the screen. Jack is standing there, nodding along, playing the diplomatic concerned patriarch, but you can see the absolute fire raging behind his eyes. Basically, Jack knows. He knows this doctor is a snake in the grass, and the tension in that room was so thick you could cut it with a chainsaw. Anyway, the absolute mastermind move of Jack secretly commanding Kyle to tail the doctor after he leaves. Incredible. Look, Jack Abbott is not a man who just sits back and lets people lie to his face in his own home. The moment Markham's car taillights fade down the driveway, Jack flips the switch. He turns to Kyle, and there is no dialogue needed at first, just that intense, shared Abbott intuition. Jack tells Kyle to get out there and follow him. This is not corporate espionage. This is a desperate father and son trying to save the matriarch of their messy, beautiful family. Dead ass. The stakes have literally never been higher. I am shaking just thinking about the look on Jack's face when he gave that order. It was pure, unadulterated resolve. Look, Kyle gets a lot of flack, and sometimes he deserves it, but right now, Kyle is dead-ass operating like a top-tier covert agent, and I am living for it. He slips out into the night, staying perfectly out of sight, following Markham through the winding, shadowed roads of Genoa City. The cinematography of this sequence, the shadows, the sheer paranoia of it all, it hits different. No cap, my heart was beating out of my chest. Kyle is just relentlessly tracking this guy, gripping the steering wheel, his eyes locked on Markham's bumper. You can feel the desperation radiating off him, because this is his mother's life on the line. He isn't just playing boardroom games at Jabbo anymore. This is a terrifying, real-world nightmare. Seriously, when Kyle finally tracks Markham to that remote, undisclosed location, the bottom literally fell out of my stomach. This wasn't a high-end medical clinic. This wasn't some luxury rehab facility with manicured lawns where Diane is getting treatment. Oh no. Kyle realizes in real time, watching from the darkness, that Diane is being held captive. Captive. Are you guys hearing me? She is basically a hostage. The entire clinic story was a complete and utter lie fabricated to keep the Abbotts off the scent. Wait, is it just me, or does this completely change the entire trajectory of the Abbott legacy? I mean, she is locked away, completely isolated, and Kyle is just standing there in the shadows, putting the horrifying pieces together. Sorry, I'm getting a bit off track. My mind is just racing with all the potential horrors she is facing in that compound. Okay, anyway, let's get back to the point. Basically, Kyle races back to the mansion, and the moment he drops this bombshell on Jack, the entire atmosphere of the room shifts from anxious waiting to explosive nuclear panic. Jack's reaction is everything. You can physically see the exact second his heart shatters into a million pieces and then instantly reforms into pure weaponized rage. He is ready to burn the entire city to the ground for Diane. Look, I know Jack and Diane have a deeply toxic, complicated history that spans decades, but the way he loves her, it is epic, it is legendary, and right now it is utterly terrifying. Jack decides, right then and there, that he is going to launch a daring, full-scale rescue mission. He doesn't care about the law. He doesn't care about the consequences. He just wants his woman back. And honestly, I am so here for it. But wait, no. Jack is actually being a total idiot. Because charging in blind is literally the worst idea ever. My brain is short-circuiting. He's a romantic hero, but he's also acting like an absolute fool who is going to get them all killed. Seriously, this brings me to the most mind-bending part of the entire episode. Billy Abbott, Billy, the man who is historically the absolute king of rash, impulsive, disastrous decisions, suddenly steps up as the voice of reason? Dead ass. I had to rewind the scene because I thought I was hallucinating. No cap. Billy looking Jack in the eye and telling him to stand down is the most character growth thing I have ever witnessed, and it low-key terrifies me. Billy warns Jack that a hasty, half-baked rescue mission could trigger the captors to do something unthinkable. If Jack goes in guns blazing with zero intel, he could put Diane in even more danger. Billy is dead-ass making sense. Billy Abbott is making sense. The simulation is glitching, you guys. I cannot handle this role reversal. Look. The dynamic between Jack and Billy in this moment is absolute television gold. You have Jack vibrating with desperate, unhinged energy, ready to risk the entire Jabot empire and his own life to storm that facility. And then you have Billy, the usual wild card, the black sheep, grounding him, forcing him to see the tactical reality of the situation. It's a complete reversal of their entire lifelong dynamic, and I am obsessed. Basically, Billy is right. If Markham and whoever he is working for realize they've been made, they could move Diane in the dead of night, or worse, they could eliminate her completely. The stakes are astronomical. Jack's jaw is clenched. He is pacing the floor like a caged animal, and you can see the internal war tearing him apart. He wants to save her now, but he knows his little brother is right, period. Anyway, think about the psychological torture this is putting Kyle through. He knows exactly where his mother is. He has the coordinates burned into his brain. He could probably drive a truck straight through the front door of that place right now and tear those captors apart with his bare hands. But he has to sit on his hands and wait because Billy is preaching caution. No cap. If I were Kyle, I would be losing my absolute mind. The guilt of leaving her there, even for one more night, knowing she is terrified and alone, has to be eating him alive. And Jack? Jack is a man of action, being told to wait, to plan, to strategize when the love of his life is locked in a dungeon or wherever Markham has her is going to break him. I am literally shaking just thinking about the emotional toll this is taking on the Abbott men. Seriously, who is Dr. Markham really working for? Because there is no way this guy is acting alone. He doesn't have the resources or the motive to pull off a kidnapping of this magnitude. This whole fake clinic setup, the holding facility, the bold-faced lies to one of the most powerful families in Genoa City, this reeks of a massive, coordinated conspiracy. Wait, is it just me, or does this feel like someone from Diane's past coming back to exact the ultimate revenge? We all know Diane has a list of enemies a mile long. She has burned so many bridges over the years. Someone incredibly powerful and deeply vindictive is pulling Markham's strings, and the fact that we don't know who is driving me absolutely up the wall. Deadass, I have a corkboard with red string in my room right now trying to piece this together. Is it a rival family? Is it a ghost from her past? The not knowing is pure agony. Look, I don't know how I am supposed to sleep tonight. I don't know how any of us are supposed to function in our daily lives until the next episode drops. We are standing on the edge of a narrative cliff, and the writers are just dangling us over the abyss, laughing at our pain. Will Jack listen to Billy's warnings, or will he go rogue, grab a weapon, and storm the castle at dawn? Will Kyle take matters into his own hands and sneak back to the facility? Is Diane even going to survive this terrifying ordeal? My anxiety is through the roof, my heart is pounding, and I am fully prepared to riot if they don't give us answers immediately. This is the kind of storytelling that makes us lifelong fans, the kind of absolute magnificent catastrophe that we live for. We are a community of obsessives, and we are in this together, period. No cap.
Thank you for watching my video. I will be updating regularly with the latest news, so please remember to subscribe to my channel to support me.